Her boobs are literally so sweet, they're considered cotton candy.
Shoo.
Say, I said say.
Hello, hello. Jaded, Outdoorsy, Sammy's, Cher. I don't know who's still here. I love you, Jaded. Shit, what am I doing here? I don't even know. I just bored, and then I got to squirreling. I forgot the time, of course. I see there is some kind of shooting at a church or something. What the fuck is going on, man? Yeah, Jaden, let me see if we can see something like Joel Osteen Church or something. It's crazy, isn't it? It's like here, Justin. No, let's see. Let's see here. We will see a little bit about that because that's crazy, man. Now you're shooting churches and schools and let's see if we can just do this here. When was this? I should have looked before I started this, and I wasn't planning to do this, but Jesus. Sorry about the coughing. I still got this freaking shit going on here.
Into the church, so that means they're still working inside up there. Exactly what they're working on, that's the big question right now. That's what we're trying to figure out. Hopefully we get some answers down here at this media staging area. So that's where we're gonna head right now, and Bill will check in with you as soon as I get a quick update. Okay.
The media staging area is Richard and Timmons.
Where is it?
Richard and Timmons.
Richmond and Timmons.
Yeah,
It's
right here. Yeah, literally right at the church. No problem.
And you are? Oh, that's right. How are you? Okay. Are you guys good? Are they happy to see you guys? This right here, this is 3600. This is at corner Richmond Cement near Ludwig. The clean building sign. Well, we're in the way or anything, y'all just you let me know. Is the mayor responding? Mayor's here. Is this still an active situation? Shortly? Okay. But the mayor is here? Okay.
Hey, it's going.
Can we stay on this side?
Yeah, we're inside there.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
We'll just say we're not going to get hit or anything?
fine. Okay.
Okay.
Glad you're okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
God bless.
Okay. Well, we're in here.
Hold on here. We got a better one. This is live right now. Let's see. We'll start it from the beginning. Oh my goodness. We're not going to watch all this traffic.
reports of a shooting, an active shooter at the Lakewood Church along the Southwest Freeway. Here's what we know. It's not a whole lot at this particular hour, but the call dropped just about an hour ago, again, of an active shooter, some sort of shooting at Lakewood Church. At this point, there is heavy law enforcement presence along the Southwest Freeway and among the streets all around Lakewood Church. Houston TranStar shot here looking west, southwest, and the majority of the blinking lights you see parked right there along the feeder road that's right in front of Lakewood Church. About 12 minutes ago, Lakewood Church on its X account, also formerly known as Twitter, said there is an active situation involving shots fired at Lakewood. Law enforcement is on the scene. That is all the information we have at this time. Please pray for Lakewood and our community, says that posting again about 12-15 minutes ago. Here's a presence, an imagery from our responding vehicles showing some heavy traffic right in front of Lakewood Church. And Sheriff Ed Gonzalez, Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez, tweeted just not long ago that the suspected shooter is down. His words. I believe we can go to our reporter, Abigail Dye. She is on the scene around Lakewood Church. Abigail, what do you know? What do you see? What can you share with us?
Well, Tom, at this point, we know exactly what you said from officials, that there was possibly an active shooter at the church at one point, and that shooter is possibly down shot by deputies. Now, that's from the tweet from the Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez. And on scene, we haven't received any official info, but we're going to show you what we're looking at right now. So just down here is Lakewood Church. Way down, you can see that there's a very heavy police presence, like the video that you saw earlier. I mean, we have dozens and dozens of units here, and they continue to show up. We know that Houston Police is handling the situation, while, of course, the Harris County Sheriff's Office has responded as well. And this is the feeder road coming off of 69. Just in front of us is the Wesleyan exit, so that exit is clearly blocked off. You aren't getting off at that exit anytime soon. And from Buffalo Speedway West is blocked off, and I'm sure well past Lakewood Church there. So this entire area is very congested. We'll turn around and show you the traffic. So this is the intersection from the Southwest Freeway feeder road and Buffalo Speedway, and it's an absolute mess. You can't head west. You can't get on the highway from here, and you can't get off the highway at Wesleyan, I said before. And we have seen a few different people come out of the church, not physically out of the church, but coming from the church. We spoke to someone who just came from the church, and she told us that she heard several shots fired inside the church, and everyone hit the ground at that time, which is just such a scary thing to think about during a church service, being at church and hearing gunfire. She told me that she didn't physically see anyone get shot, so we're not sure if there are any victims at this point. But again, like the Harris County Sheriff had tweeted, we do believe that a deputy may have shot this shooter. So we do have confirmed from an eyewitness that there were multiple shots going off at the church. Everyone hit the ground, and she's not sure what happened after that. She said all of her family was just laying on the ground, and luckily they got out of that situation safe. But again, you're looking at the scene right here off of the feeder road out in front of the Lakewood church there. And like I said, we've got dozens and dozens of units out here from Houston Police, HCSO, and again, Houston Police are heading this investigation at this time. But this is an absolute scary and chaotic situation. And like you said, Tom, I mean, everyone just keep Lakewood Church in your thoughts and your prayers at this time. We're going to continue to stay right here out on scene. I'm sure that the police will have the staging area set up for us soon, where we'll be able to get some more official information. But as of right now, as you can see, they're very busy investigating what happened here, getting everything, putting all these pieces together, getting the scene cleared up. But we're going to stay right here and continue to gather some information for you, Tom.
Abigail Dye at Lakewood Church along the Southwest Freeway right now. Stand by. We will come back to you as information becomes available again. This is something that has been developing over the last hour or so. And we look at this tweet from Sheriff Ed Gonzalez. Says information remains preliminary as things remain dynamic.
Hey, chicken lady love.
One of our deputies on scene. I am en route to that scene, says Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez. And that was within the last hour. Don't have an actual timestamp on that particular note, that post from him. So Lakewood Church on a Sunday, as you can imagine, is an active place. It's a busy place. It is a day of worship. As Lakewood Church posts, there is an active situation involving shots fired at Lakewood. Law enforcement is on the scene. That's all the information we have at this time. Please pray for Lakewood Church and our community. That post from Lakewood, again, within the last about 20 minutes at this particular point. TranStar of looking southwest along the Southwest Freeway. The feeder road is to the far right of your screen, and up about mid-screen, you see all of the blinking lights. That is the heavy police presence right in front of Lakewood Church. The response from law enforcement, Harris County Constable Precinct 1, the Harris County Sheriff's Office, the Houston Police Department, among others. We don't know who all has responded to this, but you can.
I just seen a thing here. Let me see here, make sure I'm not muted. Okay, I'm not. It's a female shooter, you all. I'm not sure how true that is because I'm just hearing about this. But yeah, this is crazy.
And bet it is everybody who is available. And I can tell you, our studios are less than a mile away from Lakewood Church along the Southwest Freeway. And coming into work, the Wesleyan Crossroad is the closest, most major intersection for us. And It is remarkable the number of police who are in the area cordoning off this whole quadrant of space while law enforcement tries to determine what exactly happened inside Lakewood Church just after 2 o'clock this afternoon. We're not going to show this to you, but I'm looking at social media right now at a clip of video. It runs about 23 seconds that purports to show one of Lakewood's, it appears to be a Spanish language streaming service of some sort. And in the background, you can hear gunshots while this man is speaking into a microphone on camera. Again, in the background, you hear three in this video that purports to be the shooting that happened inside Lakewood. 3 quick shots, boom, 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 couple of seconds, and then another shot. And then you see people on this video clip that purports to show in kind of the background of inside Lakewood when the shooting happened. You see people running and the speaker on the camera looking over his shoulder off to his right to see what that was. And then the slate goes dark to the Lakewood logo and they cut the cord on that particular streaming service. We do not know what happened there. We don't know who was involved, why they did what they did. But again, Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez tells us that the purported shooter, the suspected shooter, has been shot by deputies on the scene. We don't know how that person was armed. Just a cursory listen to the gunshots in this video clip. It sounds like the rounds of a handgun, as opposed to a larger sounding shot of a rifle, perhaps. But simply conjecture at this point as we look at this video clip sent to us as people go along the Southwest Freeway, again heading southwest. That is the feeder road through the windshield there in front of Lakewood Church. If you are just joining us, we are breaking into programming with news from Southwest Houston of a suspected active shooter, or at least one point an active shooter, inside Lakewood Church this afternoon. It happened just after 2 o'clock this afternoon. There was seemingly a fair amount of activity still on this Sunday afternoon inside Lakewood. We don't know what service may or may not have been going on or what was coming up or what had just concluded, but it's Sunday, it's a church, it's a big church, so no big surprise that it was busy. And then this video that I was just describing that purports to show the scene inside Lakewood while the gunfire happens in the background. I can tell you, I've watched it, I've heard it. It sounds like, again, 3 quick shots, a couple of seconds, and then one more shot as people run away in the background. We don't know if anybody besides the shooter, the suspected shooter, was shot. And again, that news came to us from Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez. But the police presence, the law enforcement presence in and around Lakewood Church is massive right now, going all the way down to Wesleyan Street, farther southwest down to Drexler, and all of Richmond Avenue, headed from that point east toward the church, cordoning off that sizable piece of property with a fair amount of police presence there and a fair amount of activity and businesses stuck in the middle of all that. At the very least, our reporter Abigail Dye was telling us that the traffic is slow. No big shock there. As you look at the Southwest Freeway from our TransGuard camera, that's outbound traffic right there. Rubbernecking, people slowing down to see what's going on. And then on the surface streets, there is no easy way to get anywhere while the law enforcement presence that is there tries to determine what exactly they are dealing with. Still a lot of mystery at this point, as you can imagine, certainly on our part, because we do not have any official word beyond what has been tweeted by authorities and Lakewood Church. But it's very early in this. It's just over an hour into what happened. And if perhaps someone was injured besides the suspected shooter, we've got to believe certainly that the first responders are in the process of trying to triage anyone who may have been injured and getting them off to medical care, most likely at the medical center. At that point, I'm told that we are awaiting the Houston Police Department, and Abigail mentioned this just a little bit ago, to set up some sort of staging area for public information officers to share what they know. And that's what we're waiting for at this point. While we wait for that time to happen, I want to go back to Abigail Dye. She is just very near Lakewood Church, and she's been gathering information from the ground. Abigail.
Yeah, Tom, we're probably about a block up from the church that's east of the church. We're on the corner of Buffalo and the Southwest feeder road here. And so over my shoulder, it's hard to see. They have us backed up for good reason. They're doing a lot of investigating. But down here is where Lakewood Church is. And you can see dozens and dozens of police and deputy units. They are down there just trying to piece all of this together. Like we've told you, there was a tweet that the Harris County Sheriff tweeted out saying that a shooter is possibly down, possibly shot by a deputy at this church. And man, is that something really scary to hear on a Sunday? I mean, I just can't imagine being in a church service and hearing shots go off. And that's exactly what a witness told us. They told us that they were in church with their family at the service and they heard multiple gunshots. And at that time, they say everyone hit the ground and I just can't imagine. Like I said, I can't imagine how scary those moments were for them. This woman I was talking to says she didn't physically see the shooter and she didn't physically see any victims get shot. But like we said, the Harris County Sheriff did tweet out that it's possible that a deputy ended up shooting that armed person who was firing shots. Again, we just don't know if anyone else is injured at this time. We'll spin the camera around so you can see what is happening right now. Like I said, this is Buffalo Speedway and the Southwest Freeway Service Road. So everything, this like Galleria area, you could call it, is just, I mean, it is just a mess, You can't come west off this feeder road and you cannot get off at the Wesleyan exit. We have traffic backed up for blocks over here. So definitely avoid this area. You're not going to be getting close to the church and in any capacity here. You can see it's just backed up for blocks and blocks. And the scene doesn't seem to be changing too much at this point. We have seen multiple units come through. We saw a very large Houston police trailer come through. So they have all hands on deck here. There's a lot to sift through on a scene like this. You have an active shooter, a possible active shooter. We don't know if there are any victims. And lots of different people walking down the street, not right at this moment, but throughout the past 20 minutes or so coming out of that church. So police have a lot to be dealing with. Of course, we have police over here who have set up this perimeter, and the perimeter is at least here from the Buffalo Speedway west. I'm sure it goes up for at least a couple blocks. We haven't been down there at this point. And the Harris County Sheriff, or the Houston Police, rather, have put out a staging area at this point. So we will be able to head to that staging area and get some more information here in the next coming 20 minutes or so. But as you can hear, there are sirens going off. We still have a lot of police units, a lot of response coming into the area. And like I said, just a lot of activity here, heavy traffic, heavy police presence, and a very, very scary morning for anyone who is inside that church. Again, that witness telling me that she just heard shots ring out. She's at church with her family, like so many on Sunday morning, and they immediately hit the ground, just terrified for their lives. And you could tell that she was very shaken up, very well spoken for having gone through something so traumatic, but very shaken up, very scared, as was everyone in that church this morning, I'm sure. But again, the Harris County Sheriff did tweet out that the deputy possibly shot this shooter, and we just don't know if anyone else is hurt at this time, but still a very active scene, very chaotic situation. We'll stay right here on the ground, possibly head over to that staging area to try to get some more official information to bring to you, Tom.
Abigail Guy along the Southwest Freeway, just about a block away from the Lakewood Church. There is a heavy police presence, law enforcement presence cordoning off that scene. This from Houston Police. The active scene is at Lakewood Church on the Southwest Freeway Service Road. Traffic is very heavy near and on the service road. Please avoid the area, use alternate routes. Public information officers are en route to the scene. They will provide any and all updates here. And certainly as that information becomes available. We do certainly want to hear from people who were inside the building when it happened this afternoon, shortly after 2 o'clock. Again, if you're joining us, we are at 3:30 in the afternoon on a Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, and a day of worship for so many people. We are breaking into our regular coverage with this news of an active shooter at Lakewood Church shortly after 2 o'clock this afternoon as we look at video from around the area. You notice these officers, they are looking outward right now. There is a sense that the immediate threat has been contained. We do have the word from Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez that a deputy shot the suspected shooter. He said, the sheriff says the shooter is down. So it would seem and it would appear that the immediate threat, again, may be contained. That law enforcement is really right now working to keep people out of the area while they triage anybody who may be injured and get people who were inside the church out of the church and to safety and away from what must be a devastating place. This, of course, we live in a time where all sorts of houses of worship worry about this sort of thing happening. And we have seen it happen here in Texas in the past. And we have seen it happen elsewhere in the country in the past. And it appears to have happened again here in Houston. A suspected shooter listed and identified as an active shooter just after 2 o'clock this afternoon, almost an hour and a half ago, opening fire of some sort inside Lakewood Church. We don't know who it was. We don't know why they did what they did. Don't know if it was a man or a woman. And we don't know if anybody may have been injured in that shooting. I was describing on social media. We will not show it to you at this point. But I have seen some video that purports to show a streaming service going on, a streaming presentation going on by Lakewood Church. A man speaking Spanish into the camera. There are people milling about. It appears there's an escalator in the background and some signage for Lakewood Church. And you hear in the background, you do not see it happen, but in the background, you hear 3 successive shots. Boom, boom, boom. A brief pause, and then one more shot. And then you see people running away. And then that streaming video from Lakewood Church goes to black. They go to a logo of the church and they stop streaming whatever service they were doing. A lot of questions certainly to be asked and answered. Meantime, we do want to go to some video, a soundbite of someone who says she was inside at the time. Let's listen to that.
It was like 1:30, and then we started hearing like one shot, and we thought it was the instruments that had failed, but no, they started shooting more. That's when everybody threw themselves on the floor and everybody started running.
So she describes it happening around 1:30. The first calls came into law enforcement about 2:10 this afternoon. So hard to reconcile those two time differences. But she says she heard someone shooting, and then another shot, and then people throwing themselves down, getting low, and scurrying away. Sadly, we have had too much practice at hearing that particular story, that particular description of what happens when shots are fired, because so often people have decided that whatever their beef is, whatever their problem is, that there's only one way to solve it, and it's with a gun. You got to wonder what's going on in people's minds, that's the solution in their mind. As we try to figure out what happened at Lakewood Church this afternoon, as we look at this Houston TranStar shot of the Southwest Freeway, that is outbound traffic. You see the tail ends of those cars. And Lakewood Church right behind those trees, and the police presence, the law enforcement presence lined along the Southwest Freeway feeder road for all the responding officers, all the responding law enforcement. And I can tell you it is massive. I was mentioning earlier that our studios are about a mile away from Lakewood Church. They're along the Southwest Freeway, and the Wesleyan exit, the Wesleyan Crossroad, is the closest major intersection between us and Lakewood. And as you come around under the U-turn, under the Southwest Freeway, the presence was astounding. I personally counted just on Wesleyan, and it's, again, just under a mile away from Lakewood, dozens, plural, of law enforcement parked along Wesleyan, no one going across, as we now see Skyfox arriving on the scene and trying to get its bearings for an overhead view of Lakewood Church. And it's need a slightly wider view so I can show you exactly what we're looking at here, but this is in the vicinity, but beyond that, hard to tell. Again, Skyfox just arriving on the scene as we try to figure out, and we wait for word of what may have happened inside Lakewood Church early this afternoon. Reports of an active shooter that we first heard the call just after 2 o'clock this afternoon. Excuse me, pardon my cough there. Word that there was an active shooter. Singular person is what we've heard. As we get a closer look at this, this may well be people who have been staged outside of the church after being led away to safety. There we go, Lakewood Church in the foreground. That previous view was right behind Lakewood, so that would be just to the north of Lakewood, as law enforcement helped people get out of the building. We don't know how many people were in there at the time, but as we mentioned, on this Sunday, it is a day of worship, so no big surprise, Lakewood is a very, very busy place. And as we look at this, that vehicle with the boxy trailer there pulling in, that is the bomb squad. We don't know why they're there. We have not heard that there is any suspicious package inside, though it may be precautionary. And again, we can just suppose there that once the suspected shooter was shot by a responding deputy, according to Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez, that maybe there was a backpack, and they don't want to go digging through that backpack, maybe, if it's there, without knowing what's in it. So it may seem prudent to call the bomb squad to bring them in to do what they do, what their expertise is, to look inside whatever belongings the suspected shooter may have had on their person at the time. I was just looking here at some mapping so that I can keep my bearings as best as possible here. Skyfox there, this scene, again, this courtyard, just to the north. On the opposite side, told to drop their belongings and get out, led to safety, presumably by law enforcement, maybe of their own volition to get out, and staying a safe distance away, while whatever danger may be inside is determined. Is that danger over? Has it been completely contained? Was there just one person? Is there more? As has happened in the past in this sorts of thing, law enforcement will do an exhaustive search of that massive building to look into the Houston area, to get some sense of how big Lakewood Church is. Before it was Lakewood Church, it was the Summit. It was a basketball auditorium where the Houston Rockets played before being renovated into the home of Lakewood Church. So think about a basketball arena and how big such a place might be. And then law enforcement has to search every nook and cranny, every corner, to make sure that there is no one else or nothing else that is of danger to anybody else. If you're just joining us, we are breaking in with breaking news from Lakewood Church in Southwest Houston about a suspected active shooter. That news came about an hour and a half ago, just after 2 o'clock this afternoon. And we have been told by Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez that a suspected shooter was shot by a responding deputy and is down. It's the word the sheriff used, down. So what's more than that, we are awaiting official word. We have heard from Lakewood Church acknowledging an active shooter seen within the building. That's all that they could share at the time, whoever runs their social media account. That posted on X/Twitter. And I'm told that we have some additional comments, a soundbite from near the scene. Let's go listen to that.
At first, it was like 2, and then within 5 minutes, it was more than 2. It came out like one after another, and everybody started running.
And did you see anyone get shot?
I didn't see nothing because everybody started running, and we just feared for our lives.
Yeah. Are you doing okay? Like, how are you feeling?
I'm okay. I was almost got in a panic attack, but I had to calm down for my daughter.
This post on X from Houston Police. The active scene is at Lakewood Church on the Southwest Freeway Service Road. Traffic is very heavy near and on the service road. Please avoid the area. Use alternate routes. Public information officers, that's PIO, en route to the scene will provide any and all updates here. So Skyfox now getting a closer look at those people who are in that courtyard just to the north of Lakewood Church on the opposite side of Lakewood from the Southwest Freeway. And we suspect, we presume, it's probably a pretty good bet that these are people who were parishioners, who were inside the church at the time that it happened. It's a busy place, Lakewood Church. And on Sunday, certainly no huge surprise. And we can only guess how many people were in here, but here there are dozens and dozens represented just in this particular shot, and who knows how many extras and others. We're not sure what service was going on at the time, what the church's programming is through the course of a Sunday. We can certainly manage to suspect that they keep themselves pretty busy. So the expectation would be that there would be a lot of people in that building. And as we look here at the scene from high above Greenway Plaza from Skyfox, there is, at least from far, far away, a sense of calm amongst these people now, while they probably think they're lucky stars that they are where they are, and trying to recount what on earth happened inside their church. Because, as we noted earlier, this is sadly something we have seen happen too many times around the country and here in Texas. And people who are in charge of houses of worship worry about this sort of thing for whatever reason, whatever motivates somebody to come inside and to exert whatever violence is on their mind, on the people around them. We don't know who this person was. We don't know what their motivations were. We don't know if it was a man or a woman. We don't know who may or may not have been injured in the process here. I will describe, if you did not hear it earlier, it is on social media. It is a video clip that purports to show a streaming messaging of some sort. I would hazard to call it a service, but from Lakewood Church. It's a man speaking on camera. He's speaking Spanish. There's people milling about, going back and forth in the background. And in this video, in the background, you hear 3 quick shots. Boom, boom, boom. A pause, and then a 4th shot. And then you see those people in the background scurrying away. And then that video clip goes to an image of the Lakewood logo, and whatever service, whatever messaging was going on is brought to an end. Beyond that, we are left with lots of questions while we wait for official word information from the public information officers for the Houston Police Department, the Harris County Sheriff's Office, Harris County Precinct 1 Constable's Office. Those are the 3 lead agencies that we know are involved here. DPS, perhaps. We've not seen or heard from them, but it would not be a massive stretch of imagination. HPD is on scene to presumably deal with any injuries that may have occurred that need to be triaged and dealt with. And if somebody was injured in this, as we look at the Skyfox image of these emergency first responding vehicles, they're outside Lakewood Church, that if somebody was injured, they'll be stabilized, they'll be put in on an ambulance, and they will be rushed to the medical center, which is not far away from this area, just to the southeast, a couple of miles. And as with any case like this, lights and sirens and clearing the roadway to get out of the way if somebody is in need of medical care beyond what can be provided here at the scene. As we look from Skyfox above the Lakewood Church campus. Now, as we look and we talk about this courtyard that is to the north of Lakewood, is what we're seeing, that green area. That image with the swimming pools, those are apartments, condominiums in between the church and that courtyard there at Greenway Plaza. That's Buffalo Speedway, that roadway to the right of your screen going north and south, and traffic has been blocked. The traffic that you do see, largely emergency vehicles, though that northbound traffic that going toward the top of your screen may be civilian vehicles. But these are people that we believe were inside Lakewood Church at the time. And again, that's Richmond Avenue that you see going left to right. And as we're looking at traffic being directed away from at least that block, we don't know exactly what all has been cordoned off by law enforcement, but certainly this immediate block on either side of Lakewood Church is inaccessible to any civilian vehicles, only first responders, while they go through the process, the arduous process of inspecting that entire building to determine it is safe or not. They've got to look through every nook and cranny, behind every door, every dark corner. Is there somebody there who should not be there? Is there somebody there besides the suspected shooter, who we're told by Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez was shot and put down by a deputy? Is there anybody else in there? that wishes harm to that church and the people in it? These are the questions we're waiting to have answers to while we look from Skyfox at those are Houston Police Department and Harris County Sheriff vehicles, first responders. And thankfully, as you just read the body language, there does not appear to be any massive urgency to what's going on right now. And that is indicative that perhaps the scene is under control while they do that inspection of the building, just to make sure that it was just that one person. And that would be encouraging news. It would be greater encouraging news if we get word that no one else has been injured besides the person who went in there with a gun this afternoon, just after 2 o'clock, we were told, and opened fire inside Lakewood Church. As we continue to look here, and I've noted this before, you've got questions. We have questions. We don't have a whole lot of answers. We can just give you educated analysis of what we're seeing, because unfortunately, we have seen this so many times before, where someone has got a grudge, a disagreement of some sort, can't handle it any other way than to open fire. You gotta wonder what goes through the mind of somebody who decides that's how they're gonna solve whatever problem they have. And as we go through this one more time, with this example, we wonder, how do we get through to those minds to suggest perhaps there's another way? Don't know the answer. If we did, we would have done it already. While we look at this, Greenway Plaza, big bank of flags out front of the building, waving gently in the wind. Inside, something. We don't know how bad. The fact that it happened, though, the fact that somebody's pulled out a gun and opened fire, bad enough. And we are left to wonder why. We are left to wonder who. And we certainly hope that when we get official word that no one else has been injured. We hope. I'm going to ask the producer if we have any additional information we're able to share beyond as we look at the bomb squad there and a robot that has been wheeled out. That's what that tractive vehicle is, right next to the white pickup truck right there, right in the middle of your screen. That would lend some credence as it is being backed up. It would lend some credence to the possibility that perhaps they need to examine maybe some belongings that were in the possession of whomever was shot. Or, okay. All right, I'm getting word in my ear that the Costco store, the parking lot there at Wesleyan and Richmond, is being set up as a staging area to reconnect with people who may need to reconnect with family or loved ones or friends. This presumably, you know, if you knew a friend or a family member was inside Lakewood, you were not there, you want to connect with them, that's where you will go. The Costco at Richmond and Wesleyan in the parking lot has been designated a staging area. As we look back and return to this conversation about the bomb squad and the robot there on the left side of your screen at the bottom of that white ramp at the back of that black trailer right there, just outside your screen there. But we have seen these sorts of things in the past where there is perhaps a package left behind. Maybe there's a bag, maybe there's a box, a backpack that was left somewhere. You know, when you go to the airport, they say if you see a suspicious bag, alert somebody. It's the same sort of thing. And they need to take a look in there. They don't want to just walk up and start rifling through it because who knows what's inside. So this is a time-consuming process to deploy this robot there on the left side of your screen and get it inside the building so it can approach whatever it needs to approach and let the robot take a look and see what's in there. Now, we're also looking at this courtyard area just outside the doors here. And we don't know why, but it's curious that there's nobody standing in front of the windows, that they are right there along the edge of that wall. To the right of your screen, there are a bank of doors and windows leading into Lakewood Church. Now, this guy walking some 20 or so, maybe 30 feet away, not feeling dangerous, doesn't have that sort of demeanor about him, so that's encouraging. And then there's that guy. It's just something I'm looking at because all we're left to do is look and give our analysis of what we're seeing and try to bring attention to some details that perhaps may not immediately up. This started just after 2 o'clock this afternoon. Son of an active shooter inside Lakewood Church. The church has tweeted this, has X'd this. I want to use tweeted. You know what I'm talking about. Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez has tweeted that a suspected shooter was shot and put down by a responding deputy. We don't know who, we don't know why, we don't know if anybody was. People inside Lakewood Church on this Sunday, in the midst of various programs and services that are put on by the church through the course of a day, certainly on this day of worship. And we have been able to talk to at least one person. I want to share what they had to say. Let's listen in.
At first, it was like 2, and then within 5 minutes, it was more than 2. It came out like one after another, and everybody started running.
And did you see anyone get shot?
I didn't see nothing because everybody started running, and we just feared for our lives.
Yeah. Are you doing okay? Like, how are you feeling?
I'm okay. I was I almost got in a panic attack, but I had to calm down for my daughter.
Almost had a panic attack, she said. No small wonder that that would be the case. While we mention, as we look at the police presence in and around Lakewood Church on the Southwest Freeway primarily, but really all around the perimeter of the church, law enforcement is there, making sure that the perimeter is secure. While there may be some people who worry about this sort of thing happening, I think so many people, nobody goes to church thinking this is the day someone opens fire inside the church. So when it happens, if it happens, no small shock that you are shocked and that you panic and that you bring it together, certainly for your loved ones, for your children in that woman's set of circumstances, because you don't want the children being any more scared than they have to be. If we go back to Sky Fox, which is hovering above Greenway Plaza here, that's looking at the southwest corner of Lakewood Church right there. That's where that sign is. Building stretches off to the right of your screen, and we looking at where that bomb squad robot was. It is now gone, so hard to tell from this far away where it may be, but we're going to guess, we're going to presume that if it's not there, hidden perhaps by that white truck, that it is in the process of being deployed inside Lakewood Church. Not because we expect that there is a bomb there or a specific threat, but more than likely because there is some sort of package, maybe a backpack that was in the possession of the shooter and laying there. Nobody wants to just go up and rifle through it. They need to check it out, make sure it's not a danger. So they need to see what's through it, and nothing better than the robot that can do that and not put anybody in danger while that happens. Okay, I'm being told that the Lifetime Fitness facility, which is just to the north side of Lakewood Church, immediately next door, it has been designated a reunification location for loved ones, family, friends. Someone maybe who got separated from family or loved ones inside church, or maybe you know someone who was inside and you want to reconnect with them. That's one of the places where you can do it. So we've been made aware that the Lifetime Fitness immediately next door to Lakewood Church, and the Costco at Wesleyan and Richmond, which is about a block and a half away from Lakewood Church on Richmond to the west of this location, also a reunification location for that place where people can connect with someone that they're looking for who may have been inside the church. We are awaiting word from the Houston Police Department, which has tweeted that they are sending and deploying a public information officer to the scene to update what they know has happened and what they're still trying to determine has happened, because we know you have questions about what exactly went on there. We do too. And there's been not a lot of opportunity to get those answers, short of the occasional tweets on social media that have been shared by law enforcement and other people as well. Lots of questions, while law enforcement goes through the arduous process of clearing the building that is Lakewood Church. Massive building. If you've not been inside, it used to be a basketball arena. Think about how big those places are. That's what that is. Meeting rooms, classrooms, offices, maintenance facility places, lots of doors, lots of nooks and crannies, lots of corners. Every one of them must be checked out to determine what is going on. We have a tweet from the city of Houston that suggests, please stay away from the area as law enforcement secures the scene and families are taken to a safe area away from Lakewood Church shooting incident. There's a 4:30 p.m. media briefing, so that is 28 minutes away from now. Family reunification moved to Lifetime Fitness at One Healthy Way. Houston Mayor John Whitmire is here to support the families and law enforcement. So we are led to believe that the based on this message, that the Lifetime Fitness is the reunification location rather than the Costco location. So we have some clarification there. If you are looking for someone who may have been inside the church, you need to reconnect with someone. Do not go to the Costco. Do go to the Lifetime Fitness, which is immediately next door to Lakewood Church. You won't be able to drive there because this is the traffic situation all around the church. Southwest Freeway, outbound traffic right there. Slow on the main lanes while people try to determine, hey, what is all the blinking lights going on? And then, of course, the law enforcement agency, all the law enforcement presence there on the feeder road, that road is blocked off. So there is nowhere to go there. So if you are trying to get there to reunify with a friend or loved one, please find an alternate route. Meantime, we want to go to Abigail Dye. She has moved. She is, I'm told, along Richmond Avenue, which is on the north side of this Lakewood quadrant. Abigail.
Like you said, Tom, just north of the church here near Richmond and Timmons. And it seems like this courtyard here is where everyone who is inside that church is kind of gathering at this time. I'm sure many of them will be headed to that family reunification center here soon. Just a lot of very shaken people over here, a lot of very scared and confused people. I mean, everyone who's coming out is telling us that they heard shots, they're with their families, they were here for service. What a scary, scary situation to be in. Luckily, it seems like everyone now is, calming down, just kind of gathering their thoughts, talking amongst themselves, and again, just trying to figure out exactly what happened here. And we do have police right here, as you can see, just kind of monitoring everyone, making sure that this situation stays calm and collected here. And they have asked us to keep our distance ourselves, just past this pole here. Now, on the other side, if we flip the camera around, like I said, this is Richmond and Timmins. We will be heading further this way for our media briefing here in just about half an hour, where we should be able to learn from officials more details on exactly what happened here. But as you can see, the traffic up on the north side of the church is a little less hectic, a little less thick than where we were earlier near Buffalo Speedway and that service road. But it is still very congested. And there's a lot going on here. We have police officers, deputies, we have law enforcement all over the place doing their jobs. They're keeping this area calm. And like you've been saying, Tom, I'm sure we have several law enforcement personnel inside the church at this time picking up those pieces. I know I heard you in my ear say that there was a robot on scene. We've seen that before in standoff situations and in different, shooting situations where law enforcement try to use tactical gear and technology to keep themselves safe while investigating what's going on around them. But again, this is the courtyard just north of the church along Richmond here that we see many people who seem to have been in that church when this happened gathering. You can see everyone just kind of looking around, talking amongst themselves, trying to gather themselves and figure out what happened here. Again, we're not sure if there are any victims. We do know that the Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez had tweeted out earlier that a deputy possibly shot a shooter who was inside the church, but we don't know if anyone else was shot in this situation. We did speak to a witness earlier, and we've shown you some of that interview that we had with her, saying that she was in that church with her family. They were all very afraid when they heard these shots ring out. She said multiple shots, and her and her family just hit the ground, terrified. I mean, just imagine you're in your place of worship. You're at Sunday church with your family, one of the safest, warmest places for so many people, and you hear gunshots ring out. She said they just hit the ground and begged for their lives. Like I'm sure they were praying. You were in a church, and they were just in a moment of fear, a moment of terror and anxiety. And luckily, all of those people made it out safely, and we see, several others who made it out safely. But what a terrifying situation to be in as a churchgoer, as anyone. And Tom, I'll echo what you were saying earlier. It's a situation we've seen all too often here in our country, an active shooter in a place that is supposed to be safe, in a place that we're supposed to be able to go and not worry about violence, not worry about terror. But it shows up in these unsuspecting places, and innocent people, like the ones right here, are affected by it. And like I said, that witness I spoke to, just like visibly shaken up. Luckily, her and her family are physically okay, as so many other families are behind me. But again, we don't know. We don't know if there are any other victims in this situation, but we will know within the next 20 to 30 minutes or so when we head down the block here and we get that official briefing from law enforcement on what they've gathered, what they know. If this shooter is down, when we say down, we don't know if that means deceased. We don't know if that means simply disarmed. So we'll get answers to all of those questions within the next 20 minutes or so, Tom. But we'll stay here, continue to talk to different people, get different pieces to this story, and bring it to you live, Tom.
Abigail Dye, she's on the north side of the Lakewood campus along Richmond, where we are expecting an update from law enforcement at the bottom of the hour. Abigail, thank you very much. Certainly, as we turn to Skyfox images here around the area above Greenway Plaza, where Lakewood Church is, the admonition was to not crowd these people, and certainly we want to be respectful of that. We want to try to be respectful of that. So I want to clarify something that we have been reporting here. Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez had initially suggested that the shooter was down, shot by a deputy. He did correct that messaging a little bit ago. And reading from the sheriff, correction, shooter is down, but it does not appear that a Harris County Sheriff's Office deputy fired the shots. Other agencies fired. We continue to assist in a methodical, thorough search of the complex. And then saying that the media partner staging area is right where Abigail is at Richmond and Timmins. We are looking at an individual on a stretcher being taken to a Houston Fire Department ambulance. So some sort of injury. We don't know the extent of that injury. Obviously, we're seeing this as just as you are seeing it. We do know that shots were fired for some reason inside the Lakewood Church shortly after, or right around 2 o'clock this afternoon. It's not a huge stretch of imagination to imagine that somebody may have been injured by that gunfire, besides the shooter, who was, we're told, shot by some sort of law enforcement agency, not necessarily a deputy, according to Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez, as he just corrected that original belief. And of course, offer a little bit of flexibility here because information is so fluid, so fast in those initial moments in trying to determine what happened. So we are looking from Precinct 1 Constable Alan Rosen, preliminary information, a child shot between the age of 5 and 9, shooter also shot, and then that press conference at 4:30 that we are waiting now. presumably about just under 20 minutes from now. So besides that individual we saw on the stretcher, this from Constable Alan Rosen, Precinct 1 Constable, Harris County. A child has been shot. A child somewhere between the age of 5 and 9. The shooter also. So we can only imagine. We can only guess. And we can cringe at the thought that a child at church was shot by somebody who went in hell-bent on opening fire for whatever reason. Meantime, there is that methodical search that Sheriff Gonzalez says that they are going through as we look at this Houston Fire Department ambulance where someone was just loaded in, someone on a stretcher. That person will be taken to the medical center and treated for whatever injuries they are dealing with right now. But we have been talking about that need for a methodical search of the Lakewood Church. Every nook and cranny, behind every door, every closet, every classroom, every office, under every chair, any place somebody could hide, any place something could be hidden. They got to look. They sent in that Houston Bomb Squad robot into the building. We can imagine, we can presume and guess that there may have been a backpack with the shooter who we're told was shot. You don't just want to walk up and start rifling through that backpack. It needs to be examined safely. Bring in that robot. It goes in. It does the job. Sifts through whatever's in there. Could be nothing. Could be something. You don't want to take any chances. I have been getting some texts from someone who says one of his employees is inside the church and has been told to shelter in place, locked behind a door by law enforcement while they do that search. Because they can't take any chances that this was just one person. They have to be sure that it was not more people, 2 or more people. So there are some people who it would seem, have been determined it's not safe to get you out of the building based on where you are. So lock yourself in place while we do that search. So while we look at these people in this courtyard that was just behind where Abigail Dye was just talking to us, they're along Richmond Avenue, safely away from Lakewood Church. These were people who were inside, waiting to reunify with friends and loved ones there at the Lifetime Fitness Center, which is that building just below them. There you go. Like the large white square building, that's the Lifetime Fitness Center. Lakewood Church just below it along the Southwest Freeway. While all those people wait, there are, it may be, still people locked inside behind the doors, behind offices, waiting for an all clear while that search continues inside Lakewood Church. Now, looking at this Skyfox imagery here, slow traffic on the Southwest Freeway going right to left, outbound traffic on the Southwest Freeway, main lanes. And then right above that is the Theater Road, no traffic going by, being diverted elsewhere. That's law enforcement all parked there. And then every road down to Wesleyan, which is the next major intersection to the left of your screen, kind of southwest of this location, up to Richmond, one major block up, and then back, all cordoned off by law enforcement. That's what we know at this hour. We're about 2 hours into this. Just tuning in, wondering what's going on, we'll tell you what we know. About 2 o'clock this afternoon, reports of an active shooter inside Lakewood Church during services of some sort. Busy place, as you well know, huge church, and services, programs throughout the course of the day. Someone came in, opened fire. We don't know who it was. We don't know why it was. We don't know who they may have shot, except we are told by Precinct 1 Constable Alan Rosen's office that at least a child, somewhere between the age of 5 and 9, was shot at church by somebody who said, I'm going to go to church. I got a beef with somebody, and I'm going to shoot. The shooter was put down, shot by a responding law enforcement officer of some sort. We initially thought it was a deputy from Harris County. The sheriff now says it was another agency that responded and shot. I did mention earlier that there is a clip of video on social media that purports to show some of the streaming programming from Lakewood at the time. There's a single speaker on the screen looking into the camera. He's speaking Spanish. There are people in the background. It's clearly Lakewood Church going back and forth. And while he speaks, you hear off camera 3 quick shots. Boom, boom, boom. A pause, and then another shot. And then you see people scurrying away. And we heard a soundbite from a woman who was inside. She talked about that scurrying, trying to get down. In fact, here she is. Let's listen to what she says.
At first, it was like 2, and then within 5 minutes, it was more than 2. It came out like one after another when everybody started running.
And did you see anyone get shot?
I didn't see nothing because everybody started running, and we just feared for our lives.
Are you doing okay? Like, how are you feeling?
I'm okay. I was almost got in a panic attack, but I had to calm down for my daughter.
Almost a panic attack. Certainly understandable. And then calming for your child. Also understandable as we look at the heavy law enforcement presence all around Lakewood Church this afternoon, while the area around the perimeter around Lakewood is sealed off. Nobody gets in except for investigators, and nobody gets out, hopefully, if they're troublemakers along these lines. There is a reunification facility, a center there at the Lifetime Fitness Center directly next door to Lakewood Church, just to the north of the property. That is where friends and loved ones can reunify with people who are trying to connect with them. Certainly understandable and potentially likely that perhaps a friend or a loved one was at the church. You were not with them. Now you want to be with them. That's where it happens, there at the Lifetime Fitness Center, just to the north and right next door to Lakewood Church. We want to go back to this tweet from Precinct 1 Constable Alan Rosen. Preliminary information is that a child was shot between the ages of 5 and 9. The shooter also shot. A press conference at 4:30 this afternoon, roughly 10 minutes from now. We do have our reporter, Abigail Dye, at that. They are set up. They are ready to go. When that press conference happens, we will bring it to you. You'll see it here. You'll hear it here. We know you got a lot of questions about what happened, why it happened, who did it. When we get that information, when that press conference begins, we will share it with you. We want that information just as much as you do. This is not supposed to happen, yet it happens. It happens too often. Getting inside the head of somebody who says this is how they handle whatever demons are in their head, whatever grudge they may have, whatever beef they may have, whatever slight they may have felt. Too many people think this is how they handle things, and this is what happens. So there is a massive search, methodical search, inside Lakewood Church right now, going on. They got to clear that building. And I was sharing some messaging I was having with someone who has an employee who is inside the church, locked behind a door, sheltered in place, he was told, by law enforcement while they can just get that search done, because they are someplace where they could not safely, legitimately get them out while they do the process of searching every nook and cranny of the building, the facility. It's a massive place with lots of places, lots of corners where someone could hide. So it's prudent. It's good police work. It's necessary police work to go through the process of checking every single possibility before they say, it's all clear, go on. Let's figure out what this was. There's police work going on right now inside Lakewood Church during this time. We have seen a bomb squad robot that was deployed. We can presume that robot is going into the building to probably maybe, go through a package, a box, a backpack that is believed, suspicious at the very least, unknown, maybe right next to the shooter. Who knows? Those are the answers we're waiting for. But nobody wants to, it's not smart to just go rifling through that thing, so they bring the robot in. The robot can safely peek inside, see if there's any danger to that before. That's part of the whole process of giving the all clear here, which we are apparently nowhere near. I mentioned earlier, if you are new to town and wondering, you know what Lakewood Church is, that building used to be a basketball arena for the Houston Rockets, known as the Summit. So think about going inside a NBA basketball arena and think about how many places there are to hide and to tuck something away that doesn't belong there. That's the job in front of law enforcement right now, is they go about the process of doing just that. I'm shifting through our files now to see if there's anything new that I can share with you while we await this press briefing from law enforcement. They tell us that they are going to share what they know at the bottom of the hour. So just a little over 5 minutes from now, we should be able to hear from there. We do have a number of reporter teams kind of getting to the area. Our reporter Abigail Dye has been reporting from there. She is at that press conference location. She is ready to go. And again, as I noted, when they come up to the lectern to start answering questions and share what they know and answering questions as well, we'll share that with you. You'll see it live here. Pardon my pause there, as I am looking at a comment statement from Governor Abbott. I'm reading this here. Governor Abbott says, our hearts are with those impacted by today's tragic shooting and the entire Lakewood Church community in Houston. Places of worship are sacred. I have been in contact with Mayor Whitmire and offered the full support and resources of the state of Texas, including Department of Public Safety officers and Texas Rangers, to help this community and help bring swift justice to the criminal who committed this heinous act. Join Cecilia and me in praying for this community during this difficult time and for the brave men and women in blue who acted quickly to respond to this tragedy. Statement from Governor Abbott this afternoon, posted just over 5 minutes ago, as this remains a fluid situation. And I will add, in addition to the men and women in blue, the men and women who also are the first responders in the Houston Fire Department as well, on the trucks, in the ambulances. They also are saving lives. We saw an ambulance take someone who was on a stretcher being loaded into that ambulance. Hard to see through this imagery, but we're going to guess that ambulance has conveyed whoever that victim was, whatever their injury may have been. We don't know that they were shot. They could have had any number of emergencies, but being cared for and treated and probably taken to the medical center. We also note that Constable Rosen from Precinct 1 noted that a child was shot. We do not know how injured that child was. A child between the ages of 5 and 9, according to Constable Rosen. Okay, bear with me for just a moment while I'm getting words and directions in my ear. I want to complete this thought about the child victim here. Constable Rosen says the child was shot. We do not know the extent of that injury. Any shooting injury is terrible to anybody, and especially unthinkable for a child. But we hope, and we hope. We can't presume, we hope that the child is injured only and is in great hands. I'm told we can get to Abigail Dye, but I'm looking at her camera right now and she's not quite ready. Will be momentarily. Yeah, as they are setting up and getting ready for that news briefing that we are expecting in just a few minutes. Before that happens, Abigail has been kind of milling about there. Abigail, what additional can you bring to the conversation here?
Well, we just walked down Richmond, from Timmins and Richmond, down further toward the church. And I'm just going to show you a little bit of what's going on here. We have fire personnel here. We have EMS. We have police. We have deputies. We have a very large, sprawling scene all over here. And we're actually, it looks like this press conference is going to happen. So we're going to go ahead and get set up on this real quick. Yeah. A little high, but I think we can do it there. Oh, well, okay. Maybe not. Okay. All right, that should be over there. Then I will reclip to this, which it has not wanted to stay on. Okay, great. Okay, as long as nobody touches it, I think we're good. All right. You're welcome. Phone's on silent.
All right, we are watching this lectern where the police briefing is expected to begin at any moment. This is a typical process. You've never been to one of these things where all the microphones get attached to the stand there, and going to check check levels to make sure that everybody's microphones are working correctly. And this is where that briefing will happen. Again, we're expecting it really, they said 4:30, so it appears they are very close, fingers crossed, to being on time with this. We know you have all sorts of questions, and I don't know that all of those answers are going to come in this initial briefing, but while we have spent the last couple of hours talking about what we think has happened, law enforcement will be able to tell us from an official point of view what they know so far and what they don't know yet, what they're still working on, trying to clear the scene.
You got it switched over to headset? Okay.
Still waiting for this press briefing to begin. It will be momentarily. That is Lakewood Church there in the background. We were looking at this view from Skyfox.
They're in the briefing right now, so as soon as they're done, let you go. But I don't have like 5 minutes alive.
That is the western edge of the church. To give you some sense of the view from the ground versus what we were seeing from Skyfox earlier. Okay. While we are waiting for this to begin, Ruben Dominguez has arrived on scene, and he is, I believe, on Richmond. Ruben, what do you know?
Last chance, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah, we're at Richmond at Timmons, and we're just probably not even 100 yards from Lifetime Fitness here, just on the other side of Lakewood Church. And as all the Fox 26 viewers that have been watching our coverage by now know, that there was a shooting at Lakewood Church just before the 2 o'clock service. I talked to a young man who was physically in the church. He had just gone to his seats with his wife. They were pretty close to the front of the stage when he heard the shots being fired. Hey, we're going to go back to Tom, I'm being told right now.
Mayor of Houston, Texas, today, unfortunately,
Houston Mayor John Whitmire, let's listen.
to report on a tragedy that occurred just before 2 o'clock at Lakewood Church as they were in between services. I'll leave the details of the first responders' reaction in a timely fashion to the Chiefs, Fenner and Chief Pena. I want Houstonians and surrounding communities to know that the first responders are doing their job in protecting the public, Houstonians, and surrounding communities. I also want everyone to know that this is a perfect example of the collaboration between departments. It's exactly what we've been calling for. HPD, constables. I could just go through a list of multiple agencies representing their agencies in a very responsive way. We want to give our condolences to Reverend Osteen and his congregation. It's unfortunate on a day that we want to attend church, watch America's #1 sports event, we find ourselves gathered here to respond to this tragedy. We want Houstonians to know that they are being protected by their first responders. We want to thank the Houston Fire Department for their quick response, the medical profession who's tending to one of the injured. So as mayor of the city of Houston, I want to assure everyone that everyone is at work doing their job. Let's come together on this beautiful day, a day that we're experiencing a tragedy. Let's hug our loved ones. When you leave here today, go hug your loved ones and say a prayer for those that are involved. Say a prayer for those officers that had to drop this suspect. They're suffering right now. And all these other first responders that I'm surrounded by, they're doing their job so we can be safe. At this time, let me yield to our police chief, Troy Fenner.
Thank you, Mayor. Like the Mayor said, and I think the most important message, before I get into details, let's talk about the resiliency of our great city. And we worship together, we cry together, but we rebuild together. This is a tragic day. To watch how we stand together. No suspect or suspects will tear down our city and our places of worship. Pastor Osteen is standing with us and all of our partners. And I want to thank them all, our local, our state, our federal partners. I just want to give some detail here, but pray for everybody that's involved. The victims who I'll discuss here and the unsaid victims, those individuals that came here to worship today and had to witness this.
I see this cop dude here. He does a lot of stuff for Houston. Remember him from the Rudy Parias case or whatever? And like a lot of the new stuff that I watched done for Houston, he's always this dude. I like him. Hi, Robin. Hey, love. I'm just listening and smoking. Pocket modding. Jada, I've been pocket modding lately, and I don't know why or how it even freaking happens because I usually don't do that. I don't know what it is. I think it was because I had the big C word, because I had COVID for all the time, and it's like, I don't know. I was sick as fuck, but yeah, here we go. Love y'all. This is wild though, man. Quit shooting the fucking schools. Quit shooting, period. But quit shooting the schools, the churches. Come on, dude. It's like you did it with the iPad. Well, see, I like on here. I know sometimes on shares, I have to get on my computer. Like if I go up on panel because of my StreamYard, because the StreamYard on my phone is a different account, and I can get on shares panel without Share giving me a link because I'm a manager on there. I can do everything on shares StreamYard that she can do. And yeah. But I don't know. I've not even been on panel and I've been pocket modding. I don't know what the fuck.
But rest assured, in this city, we're going to stand strong and we're going to move forward. So approximately at 1:53 p.m., a female, approximately 30, 35 years old, entered the property on the west side here in the parking lot of Lakewood Church. She entered the building. She was armed with a long rifle and a trench coat with a backpack, accompanied by a small child, approximately 4 to 5 years old. Once she entered, at some point she began to fire. I want to compliment the off-duty officers who were working extra employment here. One TABC agent, 4 years of service, 38 years old. An HPD off-duty officer, 28 years old, 2 years of service. Both officers, officer and agent, engaged, striking the female. She's deceased here on the scene. Unfortunately, the 5-year-old kid was hit and is in critical condition at our local hospital. There was a 57-year-old man who didn't have anything to do with it, I don't think, was shot in the leg. He's seeking treatment in the hospital. So let's all pray for each and every one of them. Once she went down, officers reported back to us that she threatened, that she had a bomb. So we searched her vehicle, our bomb squad, and also the backpack. No explosives were found, but she was also spraying some type of substance on the ground. So HFD came and the fire chief will speak briefly on that. But again, we're going to stand strong. Again, I want to commend those officers. She had a long gun, and it could have been a lot worse, but they stepped up and they did their job. And I want to thank them for that. As you know, when officers involved.
And look, y'all, have y'all noticed now, like, you remember the Nashville school shooting? I covered that one. It was a female. I mean, she was, I don't know, I don't want to get in a gender shit, I don't care, but it was a female. Now, this one's a female. It's females are starting to fucking get involved. You know, usually it's not a female. You know, and you hear females sometimes, like with those Nashville's, like, wow, you know, a female, really? And I want to know more about this shooter lady because I wonder if she had kids or, you know what? It's like, kids, man, leave our kids alone. Leave our babies alone. Everybody, don't go shooting anywhere. Stop the bullshit. You know, the madness, it's got to stop. This ain't right. And, you know, this is going to sound like kind of cold to me, but like, if you don't want to live, go and do your thing to make that happen. I'm a horrible person, I guess, because if someone wants to take their life, that's their decision. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't even know how to say that. That sounds horrible to say, but you know, who am I to tell somebody that they need to live or not? But don't take other people with you, especially the children. Leave the babies the fuck alone.
In the shooting, we conducted criminal investigation, Harris County District Attorney's Office, and also both agencies conduct administrative investigations. That will take place. Both of these officers, the officer and the agent, will be placed on administrative duty. But again, let's pray for everybody. And we stand strong here in Houston. I'll pass it on right now. Let me say.
Jaded, exactly. It's just not like you know, America. It's the whole fucking world really has a mental health crisis. I mean, it's the whole world, and it's sad, man. It's really fucking sad. Mental health is real. You know, it's fucking real, and you know, I went to the doctor for years because you know I've always known my daddy's bipolar, and I don't know, but anyways, I was going to, especially after my mom died. You know, I got into all that, and like I would take medicine, they would change it because that was working. You know, and it's like fuck, I don't want to do this. I was like a fucking zombie. You know, they was just wanting to shove all these fucking psych meds that make you sleep and not, and then it's like you just get tired of it and you give up. And nobody cares. Nobody fucking cares. And then that's why I got off the road traveling, and I loved that job. That was the best job I've ever had in my life, and I got to see the world, and I gave it up because my mental health's more fucking important, you know, and I couldn't do it on the road. And now I got diagnosed with ADHD, and that makes total fucking sense, you know, and it's like, this time I'm not going to give up on my mental health. I'm not going to do it. I take 5 pills every day for the rest of my life, and I'm okay with that. And I'm not going to give up because I actually found a doctor down in that listened to me, you know, not because I had no idea I had ADHD. Never crossed my mind in 41 years or whatever it was, less 30 something, but yeah. Hi, dreamers. It's true. It's true. The world is never going to be the same as it was. I mean, it's always bad, but that's kind of right. You know it. I don't know. I don't know. And welcome, Dream. I don't think I've ever seen you. I might have said that. I repeat myself a lot. I'm just getting over COVID myself, and I never had it all this time. I went to work at Domino's whenever COVID first started because my job got shut down completely, and I had to get a real job, as what I called it. And I loved that fucking job. Actually, I really made really money, and I never got it. Then I went back to work on the road like that Memorial Day after COVID, and I never called it. And I done some of the most public fucking work during that, And then here I go to fucking Gasparilla, and the Pirates gave me fucking COVID. It's still in my lungs, but it's coming up now. Finally. It's like, damn, man, I've been sick with it. But for like a week, y'all, I was scared kind of, but I don't know. Like for a week, I slept. The only time I got out of bed was to go use the bathroom and grab something to drink, or I slept and just, I didn't even shower. I couldn't. I didn't have the fucking energy. I was so sick. I literally stayed in bed for a week. And then I got to feeling better finally, and it's like, fuck, and I got up, and I made myself. But man, when I first got that fucking COVID, it got me. It fucking got me hard, and ugh. It was crazy, Jada. It was like I didn't see. I was in we were in Florida working. We were in where was we? Fort Pierce? No, Vero Beach, Florida. Was working there, and we was getting ready to do our opening, and no, shut us down. Tower shut down. Go. And it's like it was March 13th. I'll never forget it, and it was wild. And then I had a friend, one of my really good friends that used to be on the road in Kansas, and she's like, fuck it, because I waited 2 weeks, because we didn't know what was going to happen, if they were going to open stuff back up. And after 2 weeks, I'm like, fuck this. Well, I went and I spent 2 weeks in Kentucky with my family. And then I left there because I was going to Kansas with one of my best friends, and she worked at Domino's. And it was right there, and I went. I'm like, I gotta do something, So I went and see my family. Then I went to work there, and I loved it. And I worked there until from May or like March, 1st of April to Memorial Day. Now we went to New Jersey, and I worked on the boardwalk up there, and that boardwalk was wide fucking open, like nothing was even going on, right in the middle of fucking COVID. I never caught it, and thank God. You know what I mean? And then I go and these fucking pirates get me. It was crazy. But I have like when it first started or whatever, I think it was the post office, you could get a free COVID test, at home test, you know what I mean? And I have a bunch of those, and they're not outdated or nothing, and that's how I know I had COVID, because I took one, and I would take one, like, and then 2 days ago, I finally got a negative one. I was like, yes, and I'm still not over it. It's like, fuck. I don't wish that on nobody, man. Okay, let me catch up. Jada, actually, I was terrified when I first went to work at Domino's and got out, because I was fucking terrified. And we wore masks, and I cleaned all the time. Like when I work, I have a really good work ethic. Like I stayed busy, because like I've ran shit, fucking cotton candies and shit in my business, and it's just my work ethic, and I work and work and work, and I worked every day. I worked fucking like 12-hour open to close a lot, and I loved that job. Domino's is a really good place, but I had to work my ass off just to make a living because of how they doing taxes and shit, versus I was making 6 times that before COVID, you know? But I just kept going, and then I went to New Jersey, and fuck, I didn't even wear a mask there really. I don't know. It was I couldn't quit, you know, I had nobody to I had to work. I had to. Me and my little dog Monroe, the one that's in my profile picture here, the little red one, we went on a Greyhound bus from Florida to Kentucky. That's where I went to see my family. From Kentucky to Kansas. But I got this, it's not like it's service dog. It's something like, I don't know, I got this card and stuff, just like the only time I ever use it is for her to go on a Greyhound bus with me, you know? It's my baby. I didn't know what to fucking do. And yeah, she loved riding the bus. She did. I love her, but I had to work. It was just me and her. I had to work. No choice, you know? And then as soon as something like related to what I was doing was opening, that was when I went to New Jersey, to Wildwood, New Jersey, and worked on the boardwalk. I loved it. I loved it. Jada, I'm still a little terrified, you know, not as much now since I've actually had it, you know what I mean? Because I don't know, but yeah, it's crazy, man. And like I do have a good immune system and stuff, but like I really don't go out much because I don't fucking like people, my anxiety. I like being at home in my own little peace, and I don't have like an immune system like a lot of people that go out and hang out and run around and shit all day, you know. I'm getting too old for all that, and I think that's why it got me so hard too because see there was 3 I'm counting myself here. 7 of us that went are my friends. 2 of them are my neighbors over here, and we're just none of them got sick. I'm the only one, and it was like, and that had to be where I got it from. There were so many fucking people there. I know a lot of companies shut down. Yeah, it's really fucking sad, man. It is. That was horrible when you couldn't do nothing about it. You know what I mean? It was wild to live that. I didn't think it would things would change to the better like it is now. I thought it was gonna be like I don't know, I thought it was gonna be different what it turned out, what our world is today, but still fucking bad, you know, they're shooting schools and churches and hurting our babies. Stop it. Stop. Leave the babies alone. Same here, what dreamers love. I'm sorry. I'm a squirrel and my fucking like my chat lags from the actual chat. I hate it. But look, man, Domino's is a really good place to work. It really is. I love that job. If it wasn't for the boardwalk opening, me going back to work there, I would have stayed at Domino's. They offered me a assistant manager job and to do the trainings and I only worked there a few months and every so often, like once a month, they would give us like a $1,200 bonus for working through COVID. You know what I mean? We got extra $1,200 check just straight up by itself, which they tax the fuck out of. But still, they did. The owner of that Domino's, and I never seen it was amazing. I don't know if all Domino's, but I know they kind of go they're corporate kind. I don't know if they're corporate, but they have like all the same rules at every one of them, but different people own them. You know. Yeah, I'm not as scared now, Jada. I get that. So you get what I was saying. Like before I got it, like this year, 2004, welcome, you know. I was nervous when I go out and stuff, and I would use sanitizer and, you know, because it's on my keychains too. And yeah, I'm not now because I know that, you know, I know. Look, my mental health doctor, he actually told me some stuff to take and stuff, you know, and because I was gonna go to the critical care thing, you know. I knew I had COVID, but I couldn't fucking get nothing to get better. I don't know. I never had it. He told me to get like zinc and stuff like this. I was like, fuck yeah, I got 2 doctors in one here. You're germophobic? I'm a cleanophobic. Like I wash my hands. Um, I guarantee you 100 times a day. I mean, I'm serious. cannot stand. I wash my hands and I use a lot of lotion and yeah. But I never wore a mask and stuff. I don't want to do all that. Fuck that. I couldn't breathe good and that fucking broke me out. And I was like, fuck this. If I ain't gonna wear it, I'm not. Oh no, I'm getting ready to cough and this is but look, y'all, I was hold on, I got spit. But I couldn't even cough, man. Like I just started getting better like the past 2 or 3 days. It's crazy. I've been putting vapor rub like all over my fucking body, man. It worked. Look, I'm a pack rat. I'm not a hoarder, but I like material, not like expensive things, but like if I have a home, I want to, I don't know. Like I have a whole bookshelf of old books, new books, cookbooks, reading books, you name it, and I don't read. I mean, I've always loved books. Some of them I've read. Like I got a bunch on narcissism. I got a whole shelf on that. I've read every one of those, but it's different like that. But if I was going to read a storyteller, see, I got two Colleen Hoovers. I don't give a fuck about reading it, but I love bookshelves. But I have organized chaos, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? I don't know where everything's at. I can't stand. Like I shampoo, deep clean my carpets every week. But I love it. I like shampooing. I want to do, y'all know those where people like get those nasty, dirty ass rugs and they video their self like ASMR cleaning it. I want to do that. I love cleaning rugs. Like, how do we squirrel off from this shooting? You can't relax. See, I'm like that too, especially if I got it on my mind. Yeah, I'll keep procrastinating sometimes, but I'm like, fuck, man. Does that make sense? What I'm trying to say, Jaded? Yeah, y'all, I didn't get out of bed literally for a week, and I didn't eat. I was drinking Boost. I did get some Boost, and yeah, because I couldn't eat, or you know what I mean. And I always thought if I ever caught COVID that it would take me out because, you know, I'm a small person and I got bad lungs because I smoke cigarettes and weed. And I got heart trouble. Well, it ain't like heart trouble from that. It's like stress and shit like that over the years. You know what I mean? Just my heart's not real strong, and I can't do too much at once. Like the humidity down here in Florida. It's not the heat; it's the fucking humidity. I mean, it kills me. It fucks with my heart. But I'm used to it. I get out in it, you know. And it's fucking. I'd rather like when I was in California. I'll never forget in Stockton. It was 115 degrees one day, and I was not sweating. I did not have one drop of sweat. 115 degrees literally at work one day. And you give 115 degrees here, you're fucking wringing wet. You don't sweat out west like that. It's different. But it was hot. Don't get me wrong. It was hot in California, but it's not the same kind of hot as East Coast. Yes, Chicken Lady. I love watching those. I would love to do those. You know what I mean? I would totally do it. Because I love watching them and I love like cleaning like that. My house ain't clean. I could not do that. But rugs, yeah, I want to. Because you see rugs people throwing away. You never know. Right, Jada. Yeah, it wasn't as bad as what I thought it would be. Honestly, it's just because I had a fever like the whole time mostly, and that's what got me, you know, and that's what kept me in bed and shit. And I was sick. I felt like 2 tons of bricks on my chest down to my fucking asshole, you know. It's like I could not breathe and nothing. I couldn't, and like I had sleep setting up sometimes, and it was bad, but not as bad as I thought it was going to be. After my fever kind of broke is whenever I started feeling a little better. I didn't even check my fever, but I know I had one. I know how them fucking fevers are. Yeah. But now I'm good. I've got it. I know what it is. I need to order me some more of those tests. I wonder if the post office still gives them to you. I have a couple left, but they help me, you know. It's like, fucking COVID. But it's just wild, you know, all of us friends that went. That's the only place I really went that I could have caught it. I don't know. You can fucking get it anywhere, I guess. But none of my friends, my friend Crystal, she said the next day or so she felt just really tired. But I was tired too because we didn't party like, but yeah, we all were exhausted. Probably so many people and it was huge and I loved it. I'm going back next year. Okay, let's finish watching this raw squirrel off for 2 more hours. Then we'll chat again, okay? I love y'all.
It is too. Places of worship. That's what they are, and that's what they will remain in our city. So it's just an opportunity for us to refocus and make sure that we all look out for one another. There will be increased patrols and a lot of conversation in our command posts with our federal partners and our local partners. We're going to increase those patrols in and around those religious institutions. And it doesn't matter which faith. We love everybody here in our city, and everybody's important. So let me pass it on to Fire Chief Pena.
Thank you, Chief, and thank you, Mayor. First of all, let me thank all the agencies that are here with us. This is really a team effort, and our prayers are with, and our positive thoughts are with the injured, and with the officers that engaged this suspect. It's traumatic not only for our community, but it's certainly traumatic for the officers who've had to take a life, and we worry about their mental health as well. So our prayers are with them, and we're going to give them whatever support they need to ensure that they are able to manage through this incident safely. Kudos to the first responders. The Houston Fire Department, Police Department was here within minutes. We are now dealing with consequence management of this incident. Now that the threat has been neutralized, we are going to take our time to ensure that any issue, any risk that we see is properly vetted. We have our hazmat team on scene. You see behind us, you have decon units that are participating in collaboration with the Houston Police Department's bomb squad to ensure that we are looking at every aspect that may be of risk. Right now, I can safely say that we have not found anything that is of concern to our community or to this location. But we're going to take our time to ensure that we look at every aspect. Our hazmat team, our decon team, and our rescue team will remain on scene until needed, and we're going to collaborate in this effort. We did transport 2 patients. One, approximately a 5-year-old child in critical condition. They went to Texas Children's, and we transported a second male, about 56 years of age, with an injury to the hip. He, last I heard, he was in stable condition. Both are still in the hospital. The child is still in critical condition, and we don't have any further information as far as his status. But again, let's pray for this community as a whole. This is traumatic for everyone, every Houstonian, and these types of incidents are unfortunately something that we deal more often than we need to with. So, but we're going to remain on scene. I'm going to pass this on now to.
Before I get it, before I bring it up, really quickly. This is a light, an isolated incident, we believe at this moment. Okay, no further danger to our public, but we do want to conduct a methodical search of the building to make sure that nobody's in there, nobody else is in there hurt. So that will continue. We ask that the public stay away from the area and let us do our job on that. The reunification location for our parents or our family members is the Lifetime Fitness Center here. And if you come up, we'll direct you. Try to stay on the east side of the building, not on the west side of the building, and we'll get you in reunited with your family members. Okay, Pastor.
First, I'll thank Chief and the Mayor and Chief Pena and all of these men and women did an amazing job. And it's just, you said it, Chief, it could have been a lot worse. Of course, we're devastated. I mean, we've been here 65 years and have somebody shooting in your church. But, you know, we don't understand why these things happen, but we know God's in control. And we're going to pray for that little 5-year-old boy and pray for the lady that was deceased, her family and all, and other gentlemen. But I don't know, it's just kind of in a fog. But, you know, just believe that, you know, we're going to stay strong. We're going to continue to move forward. There are forces of evil, but the forces that are for us, the forces of God are stronger than that. So we're going to keep going strong and just, you know, doing what God called us to do, lift people up and give hope to the world. Again, I want to thank all these gentlemen because, you know, I can only imagine if it would have happened during the 11 o'clock service. We were in between services going into the Spanish service. So, you know, there's anything good of it, you know what? She didn't get in there and do a whole lot worse damage. So we thank God for that. He's watching over all of us. And as the chief says, we're going to keep going strong and bringing hope to the world. But thank you again, Jim.
Thank you, Pastor. I'm going to get Chief Cantu for translation in Spanish. Thank you.
Been listening to a police briefing from Houston Mayor John Whitmire, Fire Chief Sam Pena, Troy Finner, the police chief, Joel Osteen right there as well. Here's what we know, according to law enforcement. Just before 2 o'clock this afternoon, a woman walked in on the west entrance to Lakewood Church, armed with a rifle. She had a 5-year-old boy with her, and almost immediately started opening fire, saying she had a bomb, they said, according to her. There were some off-duty officers, a TABC agent and an HPD officer working off-duty security there at Lakewood Church. They responded immediately. They engaged the woman. She was shot. She was killed right where she stood. The child, unfortunately, that 5-year-old boy, was caught in the crossfire, critically injured, transported immediately to Texas Children's Hospital in the medical center. There was also a 57-year-old man who was apparently shot in the leg or hip. He was taken to the medical center as well. Ben Taub, I believe they said. It was the lone woman, they believe, though as we have been talking over the last couple of hours, law enforcement's going about the process of a methodical search to make sure that there are no other threats inside Lakewood Church. As Chief Troy Finner said, places of worship in Houston will remain so in our community, and noting that there will be increased patrols at houses of worship in the coming days. We don't know who this woman was. We don't know why. We don't know if there's no indication she was a member of the congregation there at Lakewood. So we don't know. Lots still to determine as they give statements there to our Spanish speaking broadcasting partners around the city as well. Going through here, Mayor Whitmire also noted that this is an example of the first responders doing their job in the city of Houston, and that it's a perfect example of collaboration in the response. But certainly, as we have noted as well, unfortunate that we are finding ourselves responding to this kind of tragedy at all, but certainly on this day when so many good things should be happening as well. We'll listen here to the mayor.
That we appreciate our first responders. I want to emphasize what the chief said, that our places of worship will be safe in the city of Houston, regardless of your faith. And I think it's important to emphasize at this time, it appears to be a lone actor, but due diligence is being taken by all the first responders from all the multiple agencies. So at this time, I'll yield to questions to the chiefs.
No, it's preliminary investigation, and I don't want to speculate on anything. You can see our federal partners are here, our local partners, our state partners, everybody, and we're going to leave no stone unturned, but we're just at the beginning. It's still an active scene, so I don't want to talk about her motivations because I don't know, right, and we never know the full story. But the important message is we're going to stand together as a city. We're going to stand with this church today and the pastor to make sure that healing begins immediately. But I don't want to speculate on anything else. Next question. Go ahead in the middle here.
Quick question. Do you seem to believe that those officers that opened fire, did they strike the child?
I have no idea right now. She fired. We don't know. And I don't want to speculate on that. But I will say this. If it was, unfortunately, and that female, that suspect, put that baby in danger, I'm going to put that blame on her. Okay? Next question. Go ahead. A little bit louder. We do believe that.
Is that the child that was shot?
We believe that to be correct.
Contact issues to the contact center, sports arena, my understanding was like in the concession area and the round. It wasn't in the sanctuary, in the.
I'm not sure. It's just over here on the west side here, just behind us. Okay, we'll get those details to you a little bit later. Go ahead, sir. I have no idea. Multiple shots. Go ahead.
Was there any explosive device or anything nefarious found?
Nothing found. We're still searching the entire grounds. Okay, and if it is, we'll report back to you on that. Next question. Go ahead.
Find an idea on the woman where she's from?
I'm not sure, sir. If we found an idea right now, if we did, we'll share that with you. But you know what we're up against today on this day, and I think it's very important for us to get before the cameras as quickly as we can, not competing with the Super Bowl and everything else. Let our citizens know that everything is good here, and we're standing together, and we're moving forward. Go ahead. He's not. I'm sorry. Let me ask y'all one thing. I forgot to hold up. Hear me out. I forgot to say the pastor is not going to go with any more questions or anything today. It'll be a time a little bit later. So I'm sorry. Didn't mean to cut you off. I forgot to say that. Within minutes, sir. Within minutes, a lot of officers responded. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I want to speak to.
Any witnesses or so many? Thousands.
Yeah, that's part of the investigation, and we're going to talk to those witnesses. Some are still here, thank God. They stayed back, so that's part of the investigation. One more with you, and then I'm gonna get over here. All right.
The child that was with this female, is it believed that they are related like a daughter?
I don't want to speculate. I don't know. The only thing that we know that they arrived here together. Okay. Next question.
Do we know if the suspect arrived in a vehicle?
Yes, a white vehicle. Thanks for that. I failed to say that. A white vehicle. Yeah.
Can you any more descriptors on that vehicle?
Not right now. It's just a white vehicle, and we did search that vehicle to make sure there were no explosive or anything found in it. Go ahead.
Is there an ID for what was sprayed on the ground?
We don't know yet. The fire department, as the chief opinion said, they're still evaluating that. All right, a few more questions. Go ahead.
The child was the woman's, the boy was the woman's child. What's the relationship?
I don't know. All right. Let me get somebody that asks me a question. Go ahead, and then I'll come back to you. Go ahead. Speak up a little bit. Until we get through, and the pastor and his staff will make that decision. But it's going to be closed for now. I think that was the last service for the day anyway. Okay. Who's next? Who hadn't asked me a question?
I was just wondering if that other gentleman was hurt.
Go ahead.
Was he just a parishioner after walking by?
I think so. That's what we believe at this time. Shot in the leg. Okay. In stable condition. Go ahead. I don't think so. We believe her to be the lone suspect. If you can believe, with thousands of people in the church, when shots are fired, people run from that area. Some people may say he was a suspect, some not, but we don't believe that at this time. Okay. But anybody that ran away or seen anything, we're going to ask that they call HPD homicide, 713-308-3600. Even if you left the scene, we need to get a full statement of what you witnessed. Okay.
Were those officers wearing body cams at the time?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Yeah.
She said that after she was shot, the suspect said that she had a bomb. And did she say that spontaneously, or was she being questioned by officers?
I'm not sure. I didn't talk to her. That's just what's told to me, and we'll gather more information. We're gonna do two more questions, okay? Who hadn't asked me anything? You good? Go ahead.
There's a female that's a suspect right now. She's under investigation, or is she no longer with us?
She's deceased. Yes, ma'am. Thanks for asking. Go ahead. Last one.
Still here on scene. Is that vehicle still here on scene?
Yes, it's still being processed. Okay, it's part of the scene, and it takes hours before we clear the scene.
You'll have video, security camera video.
We'll see. We'll see. We're very transparent here in the police department, HVD. So if we have footage at the right time, appropriate time, and if there's body worn camera, the officers will work an extra job. I don't know the policy for the federal agency, but we'll check with our officers, see if he had it. Okay. Hey, thank y'all. Let's continue to pray for everybody. Thank you very much.
Houston Police Chief Troy Finner wrapping up a police briefing outside Lakewood Church.
Hey, be good. I love you.
As we try to make sense of what they say was a lone shooter inside Lakewood Church this afternoon. Constable Rosen there in the middle of your screen. Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez there. Houston Mayor John Whitmire as well. All of them, almost all of them, taking a turn at the microphone to explain what they know, what they don't know. HPD, the lead agency here. We also see the FBI on presence. They have noted that they are not the lead agency here. They are here to assist, as might be appropriate. But here's what we know. According to authorities here in Houston, just before 2 o'clock this afternoon, in between a couple of services at Lakewood Church, this one woman, described as being between 30 and 35 years old, entered from the west side with a rifle and a backpack and a 5-year-old child with her. She said something to the effect of she had a bomb and she started shooting. There were a couple of off-duty officers, one from TABC, one from HPD, working extra duty as security there. They engaged the woman immediately. They opened fire. She was shot. She was killed. That 5-year-old child, we believe it was a boy, was critically injured in the crossfire, taken to Texas Children's Hospital, being cared for now. 57-year-old man was apparently shot in the leg, taken to Ben Taub Hospital in the medical center. The woman also apparently was spreading some sort of substance around. Preliminary tests show nothing toxic about that substance. So encouraging news there. While they continue to do a methodical search of the facility, Skyfox continues to hover over the scene. Among those vehicles there that you see, we believe it's there, but perhaps elsewhere, there is also the vehicle in which this woman drove. It's still there. It's being inspected. It's being investigated. Police Chief Troy Finner says that's a methodical process that will take a considerable amount of time while they gather every single bit of evidence they can about who this woman was, why she did what she did, and what she may have done. I want to go to Fox 26's Ruben Dominguez. He is live not far from this scene as well, looking at one of our monitors off to the scene. Ruben is ready to go. Ruben, what do you?
Yeah. Hey, Tom. Yeah, good afternoon to you. We're just outside of Lakewood Church. And as you mentioned, that press conference wrapping up, the mayor speaking about the multi-agency response and how quickly they got down here and their ability to work together. And arriving on the scene myself, I passed dozens and dozens of state troopers, Department of Public Safety, Harris County Sheriff's Department, EMS, and the scene for, given what went down, relatively calm outside of the church and the surrounding blocks. Right now, it's all a matter of continuing, making sure that nothing was left in the building. We've seen EMS crews going in and out of Lakewood Church, fire and EMS taking care of that. But once we got onto the scene, we did have a chance to speak to a couple of people. Now, that 2 o'clock mass is a mass that is is a Spanish language mass. So a lot of the people that were there and that we were trying to get some sound with were primarily Spanish speakers. Only a few spoke English. But I did speak to one young man who described the scene that he was inside the church the moments that the shots were fired. So I'm going to try to translate as we play this soundbite for you all. Take a listen.
Bueno, apenas estábamos llegando y pues la señora nos llevó en la primera fila y estamos ahí esperando que salían todo. Y
He
pues
says they
escuchamos el
had
primer
just
disparo.
arrived and were
Entramos a la
sitting
fila
very
normal.
near the front.
Después empezó 2, 3, pues ahí la gente se entró en pánico. Y ya todos se agacharon abajo de la silla.
Everything was normal until shots were fired.
Sí, es una, como dijera yo, se asustaron todos.
O sea, no había empezado la misa.
Todavía no. Todavía no. Apenas la gente se estaba
He
llegando.
says it
y
was
todo
just
eso.
before the church. Folks were still filing into Lakewood Church.
Pues ya rápido unos se acostaron donde están las sillas y todo, pues y otros se subieron más para arriba.
He said the public reacted. Some were laying down on the floor trying to take cover behind their chairs. Dieron la notificación que tenían que salir de la iglesia.
Pues ya cuando la gente estaba
And I asked him when did they notify everyone to leave.
que trabajan ahí, pues nos dijeron que todos salían para fuera de la policía, nos dijeron que salimos en las salidas hasta los parqueos.
Pero usted y su familia, todo el mundo. He said that Lakewood Church employees and the police were instructing the people to leave the building. Yeah, so there you go, guys. A description of a pretty chaotic scene. He did go on to tell me that they were very frightened. He heard the first shot. He wasn't quite sure what that was, but several shots fired immediately after he knew that something was very, very wrong, and made his way, out of the building. Luckily, with his wife, and were able to get outside. I did speak to another woman that had been to the 11 a.m. mass, and she heard about the shooting. She actually came back to the church. Because she said, to pray for the people who were inside and the people that were affected by this. So as of right now, I think they hit all of the major points there during the news conference. I believe law enforcement is going to start moving us back here in just a second. They're starting to wave some of the media back. So we're going to kick it back to you, Tom, and hopefully we can get some more sound out here and bring that to you and share it with the viewers shortly. Right now, we're live outside of Lakewood Church. Ruben Dominguez, Fox 26 News.
Ruben, thank you. And by all means, keep efforting that contact when you can get it. Share it with us. We certainly appreciate that. Skyfox continues to hover over the scene of Lakewood Church. That is the Southwest Freeway feeder road, just along the bottom of your screen, the front of the church, at the top of your screen. At this point, law enforcement, HPD, primarily the lead agency here, says there's every indication that they have this scene under control while they continue to do a search. That young man that Ruben was speaking to was describing hearing the shots. I have also, in the last couple of hours, mentioned a clip that is on social media that purports to show, as authorities said, they were just about to start a Spanish-speaking service there at Lakewood. There was a man on screen in the lobby, it looked like, there at Lakewood, speaking Spanish, getting ready, presumably for that service. There were people in the background milling back and forth. And you hear off screen in this video clip at least 4 shots, 3 quick ones, a pause, and then a 4th shot, while people in the background continue to scurry as well. Top of the hour here, Tom Ziskin, Fox 26 Studios. Normally we would be doing the 5 o'clock news for Fox 26. We are continuing our breaking news coverage of an active shooter now dead, we're told, at Lakewood Church this afternoon. Lots is going on. If you've been with us for a bit, I want to guess that this vehicle right here, with the doors open, the hatchback open, is the vehicle we were told that this woman, the lone shooter, drove up in to Lakewood Church. Drove up, parked it, got out, walked inside with a 5-year-old child in tow, and immediately, we're told, opened fire, saying she also had a bomb in her backpack. Responding officers, a TABC agent and an HPD officer working extra duty as security, immediately engaged that woman. We are told she was shot and killed right there. the 5-year-old child critically injured in the crossfire, now being cared for at Texas Children's Hospital in the medical center. Chief Troy Finner saying whatever happened to that little child is the sole fault of the woman who brought the child in. We don't know that the woman was the child's mother. We can guess maybe, but we don't know. Lots yet to know. We have a number of reporters around the scene. I want to, as we look at this Sky Fox video, check in with Jade Fleury, who is in the vicinity as well, checking in as best she can with people who've been affected by this. Jade, fill in the blanks as best you can. What do you know?
Yeah, Tom, we're here at Lifetime Fitness, which is one of the family reunification spots. I'm going to step out of the way here so you guys can see. There are 2 Harris County buses that look like they're transporting people away from the area. They look like they're about to get ready and roll out. Police still do have this area closed off. And we did speak to one woman who says that she heard those gunshots.
Lo único que me afecta a mí es la muerte de un niño. Es la muerte de un niño tan pequeñito que no tenía por qué pagar las consecuencias de gente adulta que no tiene nada que ver. Pero nosotros estábamos en el salón y empezamos a escuchar los disparos y eran más fuertes. Pero de ahí ya nos llevaron a otro lado y ya nos quedamos ahí hasta que vino la policía. Pero hay que orar mucho por esa gente que no tiene sensibilidad para matar a un niño.
She said that she was just, I think, living in the sanctuary, and all of a sudden she hears a lot of shots that were from a distance, and they started to become more and more loud. And then they took her to a place where she could hide for a while. She's been there for like an hour, and she was just talking about that she feels really bad that somebody killed a child, that no child should ever die because of consequences like this, and that it's just really unfair.
Again, the roadways here do remain blocked off, and there's still a heavy police presence. We'll bring you guys more information as it comes in.
Jade Fleury, thank you. We appreciate it. As you get additional information, please share it with us, and we will pass it along. Sky Fox over the Southwest Freeway. Those are the outbound lanes with all the traffic. The feeder road right in front of Lakewood is closed off to civilian traffic while first responders maintain their presence. So much has been made here about the fact that this was at a church on a Sunday, a day of worship. We have seen this so many times in places across the country and here in Texas, where worshipers found themselves face to face with someone with a gun who had some sort of grudge and decided that.
I'm going to stop it there. It is sad. This guy's talking like I've not heard of church shootings. Like, it's not about, popularity, but school shootings are more the thing, more so than churches. Or am I just missing something here, y'all? Because like if something like this happens, like school shootings and stuff, yes, like it's different than talking about my little Harmony Montgomery. I have not watched that trial. I can't do it. I watched a little bit of it on Duty Runs but I try to cover stuff like this, or just at least listen to it with you all, and I've not heard much. Actually, this is the first church when I've done. Is it common in where y'all are from, or, and it's just not, I don't know, I don't believe it. I think school shootings is number one. Like, I hear more about subway shootings and stuff in New York City than I do school or a church. Can somebody answer me? There's 7 of y'all here. Even if you're lurking, come on, I'll welcome you all. As long as you're nice and respectful, mainly to my chat or my panel guest. Me, I can handle it. Don't fuck with my people. Even if you don't like me, we don't like each other. Come on. I don't know. I say I don't know a lot. I know that. Because I don't freaking know. But I want to know. I'm trying to pack me a bowl of marijuana here. The damn thing keeps magnetizing somehow to my computer. Be good. Can you pull your ass over or something for a second and answer me? Somebody answer me. I'll just Google it myself. Hell with it. We'll Google it. Church shootings. All right, let's listen. Since y'all don't want to talk to me, fuckers.
Whatever their problem was, the only way to handle it was through this kind of violence. Among the many, many questions that we'll struggle with, because we've tried to ask and we don't get answers real easily. So we will struggle with this one as well. What goes on in people's head that they think that this is okay? It's not. A woman is dead, struggling with some sort of demons. We don't know. A 5-year-old child with her, critically injured. We don't know. We don't know what will happen to that child being cared for at the Texas Medical Center.
Okay, the 5-year-old child with her. You know, it's like you knew this child if this child was with you. I need to know what happened this weekend with this lady. Whose child was it?
Where great, great doctors are working feverishly, hopefully, to save that child's life. And a 57-year-old man shot in the leg, shot in the hip, being treated at Ben Taub Hospital tonight. That's what we know. Happened just before 2 o'clock, in between services at Lakewood Church. Let's go to Abigail Dye. She was right next to that press conference as it happened. Abigail, any observations that you can share with us, please?
Chaotic still. There are so many units and police personnel and just so many people out here trying to piece everything together. I mean, luckily, it seems like the threat is gone. You know, police are telling us that the threat has been eliminated, but it doesn't mean that the work is over here. They still have so many things to piece together, so many questions to answer. We'll show you a little bit. This is right here where we had that press conference earlier. We have several law enforcement officers gathered up, and as we kind of pan left over the scene, you can see that we have fire personnel here. You know, we did have to transport those 2 victims, the 57-year-old male and that 5-year-old boy, to the hospital. 5 years old or in that age range. It's absolutely heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to think that something like that could happen at a church. And we are here on the west end of the church where police say that the suspects entered the church. So if you look at the church from the west end here, you can see the big letters spelling out Lakewood Church. And we do believe that the suspect vehicle is over here just out of view behind some crime scene tape. And this is still a very active crime scene. Now, some other just interesting things about this suspect in this case. Police say that she did enter the church with a trench coat on. Just a very scary picture in your head there, entering the church with a trench coat on, a long rifle in hand, backpack on, and that young child in tow. And police say that at one point, we don't know if it's before or after she was shot, when she communicated this, but at one point she said that she had a bomb in that backpack. Now, police say at this point they haven't found any explosives, but they are carefully searching that vehicle, that backpack, the church, just trying to figure out where that threat came from. Now, again, that woman is now dead. Officers shot her, and that child was shot as well. And at this point, it's not clear what gunfire that child was hit by, because it is believed that the child who was hit was the child that she brought into the church with her. And so, like I said, it's unclear what gunfire this child was hit by, but police say no matter what gunfire that child was hit by, it is this woman's fault. I mean, it's hard to find a word other than evil to describe bringing a child with you to commit a shooting in a church on Sunday during a service. I mean, I had chills just thinking and talking about it. And like I said, I mean, out here, the job is far from over. We are still just piecing everything together. The motive is something that we will not know for a long time, if ever, because the suspect is deceased. And we have these law enforcement officers out here just keeping the scene calm, keeping it secure, and keeping it safe. Police assured us that their response was very quick. Within minutes, they were here at this church, and that suspect was down and the threat was mitigated. And again, we are still trying to figure out if there is an explosive anywhere. At this point, police say there's not. They've searched that vehicle. They are still searching the church. They searched that backpack, and no explosives have been found. We're not exactly sure why that suspect would threaten that, but like we've been echoing here, Tom, we're not exactly sure why any of this would happen in the first place. But again, very active scene here on the west side of Lakewood Church, where police say that suspect entered and is now deceased, with that 5-year-old boy and 57-year-old man in the hospital. We'll be sure to stay on top of this story and get updates on their conditions as soon as we have them. And Tom, we'll stay right here on scene and continue to gather information for you. I'll send it back to you for now.
Abigail Dye outside Lakewood Church. Abigail, thank you. Check in when you can. This is the car that Abigail was talking about. We saw it earlier here. Skyfox directly over it. The vehicle that the woman, the shooter, drove in on. This is right at the curb. So she drove up, parked the vehicle, and walked in wearing the trench coat, the long gun, the rifle hidden underneath, wearing a backpack, 5-year-old boy in tow, walked in, screamed she had a bomb, and opened fire. A TABC agent and an HPD officer, both working extra duty security at Lakewood Church, immediately were told engage the woman after she started shooting, and she was shot and killed. This vehicle is being processed for any bit of evidence that authorities can find, and Chief Troy Finner says it will take a considerable amount of time for that exhaustive investigation into that. As we look at this last little bit of video from Skyfox, we're going to take a brief commercial break. We're going to regroup on what we know and what we don't know, what we can share and what we can't share. We'll be back right after this. Afternoon in Southwest Houston. Skyfox over Lakewood Church, the large building right behind the White Tower there, where just before 2 o'clock, we are told, this woman I was just describing walked in, parked her car right at the door, walked in wearing a trench coat, a rifle underneath the trench coat, wearing a backpack, that 5-year-old child in tow. "I've got a bomb," she said, we are told, spreading that powder around. And then she whipped out the gun and started firing. Responding officers working security shot and killed her right there before she could do any more damage. Unfortunately, the 5-year-old child caught in the crossfire and critically injured. Also, a 57-year-old man, where we are told was shot in the leg or the hip. He's at Ben Taub tonight being cared for as well. We did see earlier someone being loaded into an ambulance. It may have been that man we were told about at a press conference. Police Chief Troy Finner, Fire Chief Sam Pena, Mayor John Whitmire, Joel Osteen, the pastor there at Lakewood, all taking turns at the microphone. Mayor Whitmire saying that first responders are doing their job and that this is a perfect example of collaboration in response, and that it's unfortunate that we are finding ourselves responding to this kind of tragedy on this kind of day. We do have some sound from what the mayor said. If you missed it live, let's listen in.
The Houston Fire Department, Police Department was here within minutes. We are now dealing with consequence management of this incident. Now that the threat has been neutralized, we are going to take our time to ensure that any issue, any risk that we see is properly vetted. We have our hazmat team on scene. You see behind us, you have decon units that are participating in collaboration with the Houston Police Department's bomb squad to ensure that we are looking at every aspect that may be of risk. Right now, I can safely say that we have not found anything that is of concern to our community or to this location.
This is, we are seeing one of the bomb squad's robot dogs that are part of their arsenal of tools to use to inspect and clear the Lakewood Church facility, that meticulous search of the facility, every nook and cranny, door, office, classroom, maintenance shed, whatever. There's a dark corner for somebody or something to hide in. They were checking it. It's one of the robot tools that they have. It's fascinating to see, quite frankly. And the fact that they are walking away from Lakewood Church is encouraging for people who are wondering when this scene will be fully secure. We have talked at length in the last couple of hours about how much work goes into searching this place. For those of you who have not been here long, Lakewood Church started its life as a basketball arena for the Houston Rockets, the Summit. If you've ever been into a basketball arena, that's Sheila Jackson Lee right there, Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, responding as well, doing her due diligence as an elected official to offer what support she can, what resources she can, this wide-ranging response to this shooter, this woman who was killed after opening fire at Lakewood Church, as the bottom of your screen says. But as I was noting, this was a basketball arena, the Summit. If you've never ever been into a major league NBA basketball arena, think about how many spaces there are to fit so many people. Now imagine having to search it to make sure that there is nothing of danger in there after something like this happened. That's how exhaustive this process needs to be. That's why it is taking so long. We are now, this was just before 2 o'clock, so 2.5, well, almost 3 hours into this. 3.5 hours into this. So much work yet to be done. Slow zoom into the doorway there at Lakewood Church. Nothing of great note to be able to discern there. We do know that the woman's vehicle, suspected vehicle, is parked right at the curb into the doorway at the main entrance to Lakewood Church. There it is. That's Sky Fox over the scene right there. This is the vehicle the woman drove in to the church, we are told. The doors are open. They have been searching it. My guess is that there was first a robot inspection to make sure that there was nothing of immediate danger, and then they'll go through and try to get what clues they can. Who was this woman? Was she a member of the congregation here at Lakewood? Was she not? Was she trying to find somebody there? Was it just a source of her angst? So many questions. We don't know the answers to them. It's part of the investigation right now, but this is evidence. This is part of the crime scene, that vehicle right there. And inside, where the woman lay now dead after she opened fire and was shot by security guards, a TABC agent, and an HPD officer working extra duty. They engaged her immediately. Her backpack is part of the evidence. And maybe, hopefully, if that child survives, maybe the child can offer some insight into what maybe the woman said, what clues she might have offered. This is the surrounding area around Lakewood, and what is nice and encouraging to see is that there is not urgency among the people who are now walking around. As terrible as this was, as terrible as this is, and the indelible mark it will leave on the psyche of so many people, there is not immediate danger right now, and that is the encouraging thing that we can take away from this, if anything, as we try to work through what happened. Okay. All right, we want to go to Ruben Dominguez, who we understand he has had some contact with. Ruben, we understand someone who was reunited.
Yeah, Tom, that's right. Just a few minutes ago, we were out here at the corner of Timmons and Richmond. If you see way behind me here, you have the Southwest Freeway Lakewood Church behind me. That is where that news conference that you were talking about wrapped up a short time ago. We made our way back here to the intersection where we caught up with some folks that were reunited, not because they had been separated, but a lady that had heard about the shooting, saw it on the news, came down here because she knew that her friends were in the church. They were actually part of the worship group getting ready to take part in the celebration in the 2 o'clock mass, and we had a chance to talk to her. Take a listen. Just saw you reuniting here with your family?
They're part of the worship team, yes.
How did you guys get separated?
I wasn't here. We were at our church, and they're the worship team. They were singing when the incident happened.
How happy were you to see that they were all right, that they were safe?
Great. They just don't have their purse or phones or nothing, so that was so difficult. They were communicating by another person's phone, so it was like.
I'm glad you guys are all right. Okay. Yeah, Tom, you had mentioned how many people, just the trauma of being inside a venue, one of the largest churches in the United States, when gunfire breaks out. If you can imagine not knowing what's going on. And we did see a lot of people who were visibly shaken when we arrived here about an hour ago, waiting to be picked up, waiting for a loved one. So seeing folks to reunite and actually some tears of joy was definitely a good thing. The scene right now, most of the people that, as I said just a couple of seconds ago, that have been out here either waiting for a loved one, coming out of the LA Fitness, the Lifetime Fitness, have pretty much all gone home. It's dissipated, and things are pretty calm at the moment. But we're going to keep an eye out and see if we can catch up to any more folks that were in the building or had family members or had just possibly been reunited. Right now, we're live outside of Lakewood Church. Ruben Dominguez, Fox 26 News.
Hey, Ruben, before you go, can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, I can.
So we were looking at the view from Skyfox, people milling about, and I was making just kind of the observation that the fact that there wasn't this terrible urgency is probably a good sign that the immediate danger has passed. As you see these people, as you talk to these people, certainly this will leave an indelible mark on them. But for the moment, tell me, I get the sense that they're just grateful to be okay right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, a lot of the folks that were here just an hour ago when we arrived, you saw a lot more of that kind of like that tense look and of not knowing and what just happened among some of the folks that were waiting to be picked up. But right now, and I think the mayor said it right at the top of the news conference, you know, the response by multiple departments, by law enforcement to get out here, get this scene under control, make sure everything was moving in an orderly fashion, I think has contributed a lot to there isn't that sense of like you said, urgency or nervousness among folks. They know that, you know, the shooter, that's over. And again, most of the people have been reunited, and everyone we see now kind of going about their business. Definitely a very different scene than just 1 hour ago. In fact, this was all lined with police cars, and you can see some of them pulling away. We've got Harris County sheriffs moving away. I just saw Constable Al Rosen just a couple of minutes ago. Actually said hello to him as he was here at the light and headed back to his part of town. We see some Houston Fire Department personnel starting to leave the scene. And as you mentioned, you know, they're making probably that last sweep through the building right now. And hopefully it won't be too much longer. These streets will be open. Folks will be able to get back and forth. And you know, hopefully things return back to normal pretty soon, Tom.
No, we work on repairing the psyche of so many people after something like this. Ruben Dominguez there outside Lakewood Church. Thank you, Ruben. I appreciate it. It's 5:28 this afternoon on this Sunday. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. Breaking news coverage of a shooting at Lakewood Church this afternoon, just before 2 o'clock. Here's what we know. I'll briefly go over the major details here. We are told just before 2, in between services at Lakewood Church, a woman pulled up to the main entrance with a 5-year-old child in tow, wearing a trench coat, wearing a backpack. She walked in. She said she had a bomb. She started spreading some sort of white powder around, and then she took that rifle from underneath her trench coat and opened fire. 2 officers working extra duty patrol security, a TABC agent and an HPD officer, immediately engaged that woman, we are told, and shot her dead right there in the crossfire. That 5-year-old child was critically injured, was taken to Texas Children's Hospital in critical condition. There was also a 57-year-old man at the church, a parishioner, who was shot in the leg or the hip. He was taken to Ben Taub Hospital. As we look at the Skyfox scene over Lakewood Church at present, traffic continues to crawl along the Southwest Freeway, and this is a recorded video, I'm sorry, and that heavy police presence outside, law enforcement presence outside Lakewood Church. We don't know who this woman was. We don't know whether she was a parishioner. We don't know what beef she had, what
it ended, and I was sitting here and listening to the friggin' weather on here. So what y'all doing? There's like 3 people here. Mm. Well, I'm gonna end this. Y'all have a good night. Adios. I'm gonna go watch some football, I guess. Deuces, bitches.
World getting crazy, baby, chill. Don't medicate, just meditate. You waking up now, well, baby, you hella late. Educate, look at what's going on, let it resonate, accelerate. Find your inner hunger like you never ate. Agenda is to push the hate. Separate and segregate, don't celebrate quite yet. The storm is coming, Q, for heaven's sake. Violence that they demonstrate, instigate and penetrate. The values of our country and our God is what they desecrate. My fighters ain't no featherweight, pulling out the seams of the fabric that they fabricate. They feed us lies, manipulate, intimidate through fear and force, forcing us to sit and wait till we come together, congregate, and then we liberate. Praying that you give me strength to find some love amongst the hate. Marching on these streets of blood till I see the golden gates. Troubadour and troubled souls, one of God's servants. Blades out, cut the grass till we see the serpent.
One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. Need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now.
I know the truth is hard to swallow, just digest it. Suspected something's going on, but chose to just neglect it. Deflected by some breaking news, or we just accept it. Expected just to fall in line and follow their perspective. Don't question their objective, but I got a lot of questions. How these kids molested, but nobody's been arrested. Read it in the testament, these children are protected. So I'm fighting all these terrorists, both foreign and domestic. Refuse to be directed, blind, not a sheep. Only kneel to my God, so I'm dying on my feet. Silence when we speak, but there's violence in the street. I've been rolling with the punches, I can't take it on the cheap. Drink from a glass half full, I'm optimistic. People are sadistic, so vicious and malicious. Praying for assistance to overcome opposition, or I'm gonna start resisting, and then I'll pray for forgiveness.
One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. Need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now. We need you now. We need you now. One day, one day, one day. Oh, one day, I hope you see the truth. This puppet show stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now.
Other shit, it's time for a change. Yeah, I came with some buddies who don't mind getting muddy and bloody and standing for something and putting some sense into this corrupt country. Go ahead, big dog, come over here and say something.